Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're diving into a topic that has fascinated inventors, engineers, and dreamers for centuries: perpetual motion. Imagine a machine that could run forever without needing any external power source. No batteries, no fuel, no charging. That's the tantalizing promise of a perpetual motion machine. The only problem? They're basically the engineering equivalent of unicorns. See, the laws of physics, those pesky things that govern how our universe works, have something to say about perpetual motion, and it's basically a big fat nope. But that hasn't stopped people from trying, and some of the ideas they've come up with are incredibly clever and surprisingly entertaining. So, buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey through the history of perpetual motion, exploring 7 of the most intriguing attempts to defy the laws of physics and build a machine that could run forever. First up, we're traveling back in time to 12th century India to check out the Bhaskara wheel, named after the mathematician and astronomer Bhaskara II. Now picture a wheel with a series of curved spokes, each containing a reservoir filled with mercury or some other heavy liquid. The idea is that as the wheel rotates, the mercury would flow to the outer end of each spoke on the descending side, creating a weight imbalance that would keep the wheel spinning. This concept, known as an overbalanced wheel, is pretty darn clever for its time. But here's the thing. Building a Bhaskara wheel that actually achieves perpetual motion is a lot trickier than it sounds. The problem is that even the slightest amount of friction in the bearings or air resistance on the wheel itself will eventually bring it to a grinding halt. Plus, getting the mercury to flow in just the right way to maintain a constant imbalance is a nightmare. Still, the Bhaskara wheel is a testament to the enduring human desire to cheat nature and create something truly extraordinary. It's a reminder that even centuries ago, people were fascinated by the idea of perpetual motion. And hey, let's give Bhaskara II some credit for ingenuity. Now, speaking of cool designs, let's fast forward a few centuries and check out another ingenious attempt at perpetual motion: the overbalanced wheel. Alright folks, let's talk about the overbalanced wheel, a perpetual motion machine concept that's as elegant as it is ultimately flawed. Imagine a wheel with a series of weights attached to its rim, but here's the twist. The weights on one side are always farther from the center. This difference in torque would create a continuous rotational force, and you know what? On paper it almost makes sense. But the overbalanced wheel falls victim to friction and air resistance. Those forces will always slow the wheel down until it stops. So, while it might not unlock unlimited energy, it's a reminder that elegant solutions can be deceptive. Okay, get ready to dive into some serious physics because we're about to tackle the perpetual motion machine of the first kind. Now this type of machine is a real rebel. It throws caution to the wind and says, hey, first law of thermodynamics, you're out of here. See, the first law of thermodynamics is all about energy conservation. It states that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, only transformed from one form to another. But perpetual motion machines of the first kind? They're like the rogue elements trying to pull off the ultimate heist, creating energy out of thin air. They aim to generate more energy than they consume, essentially running on borrowed time and hoping no one notices. Imagine, for example, a water wheel connected to a pump. The water wheel turns, powering the pump, which lifts the water back up to the top, allowing it to flow down and power the wheel again. Sounds great, right? Free energy forever. Except not so fast. In the real world, friction and other energy losses rear their ugly heads. The pump won't be perfectly efficient, the water wheel will experience friction, and some energy will be lost as heat. Despite countless attempts, no one has ever managed to build a perpetual motion machine of the first kind that actually works. Alright folks, buckle up because we're about to explore the wild world of perpetual motion machines of the second kind. These machines try to bend the rules of entropy. Entropy measures disorder in a system. The second law of thermodynamics states that entropy always increases. These machines try to convert heat entirely into work. Imagine a ship sailing forever by drawing ocean heat, but converting heat entirely into work is like herding cats. Maxwell's demon, a thought experiment, tries to sort gas molecules. It creates a temperature difference to do work. But even it can't violate the second law of thermodynamics. These machines ultimately hit the limits of energy behavior. But who knows, maybe someday we'll find a loophole. Chapter 5: Magnetic Perpetual Motion, harnessing the power of attraction. Alright, let's talk about magnets, baby. Specifically, let's talk about magnetic perpetual motion machines, those captivating contraptions that attempt to harness the invisible force of magnetism to achieve perpetual motion. Imagine a wheel with strategically placed magnets, all repelling each other, creating a continuous spinning motion. The allure of magnetic perpetual motion lies in the seemingly limitless nature of magnetic fields. After all, magnets don't require batteries or fuel, so why couldn't we tap into their energy to create a machine that runs forever? Well, as you might have guessed, there's a catch. While magnetic fields can indeed exert forces over distances, they don't actually provide a source of energy. Think of it this way: a magnet can pull a metal object towards it, but once the object reaches the magnet, the motion stops. One classic example of a magnetic perpetual motion machine is the magnetic gate design. This concept involves a series of magnets arranged around a wheel, with the magnets positioned to repel each other, theoretically causing the wheel to spin indefinitely. However, in reality, the magnetic forces balance each other out. Despite countless attempts and ingenious designs, no one has ever successfully built a magnetic perpetual motion machine. So the next time you're fiddling with magnets, take a moment to appreciate their fascinating properties and the enduring human desire to harness their power for good. Chapter 6. The Self-Looped Motor Generator. A circuitous route to nowhere. Alright folks, get ready to unravel a real head-scratcher, the self-looped motor generator, a perpetual motion concept that's as perplexing as it is ultimately impossible. Imagine this: you have an electric motor and a generator mechanically linked together. The motor spins, powering the generator, which produces electricity. Now, here's the kicker. The electricity generated by the generator is fed back into the motor, creating a closed loop where the system supposedly powers itself. On paper, it sounds almost plausible. After all, motors convert electrical energy into mechanical energy, and generators do the opposite. So, why couldn't they work together in perfect harmony to achieve perpetual motion? Well, as you might have guessed, there's a snag, and it all boils down to one pesky little thing: efficiency. See, no motor or generator is perfectly efficient. Motors lose energy to heat and friction, and generators aren't able to convert 100% of the mechanical energy they receive back into electricity. The self-looped motor generator is a classic example of how perpetual motion concepts often hinge on the idea of creating a closed system where energy can circulate indefinitely without any losses. Despite its flaws, the self-looped motor generator highlights the enduring human fascination with the idea of creating a self-sustaining machine. Chapter 7. Free Energy Devices, Separating Fact from Fiction. Alright folks, we've arrived at the final frontier of our perpetual motion journey, the world of free energy devices, where science fiction often blurs with pseudoscience. Now, free energy devices encompass a wide range of concepts and claims, all centered around the idea of tapping into a limitless source of energy that exists outside the bounds of conventional physics. We're talking about devices that supposedly extract energy from the vacuum of space, harness the power of zero-point energy, or tap into some mysterious cosmic force that's just waiting to be unleashed. See, the problem with free energy devices is that they often lack any scientific basis or credible evidence to support their claims. Proponents often make extraordinary claims without extraordinary evidence, relying on vague jargon, conspiracy theories, and a healthy dose of wishful thinking. Now don't get me wrong, I'm all for pushing the boundaries of science and exploring new possibilities. But it's important to approach these claims with a healthy dose of skepticism and critical thinking. The allure of free energy is understandable. Imagine a world without energy scarcity, where we could power our homes, cars, and cities without relying on fossil fuels or worrying about climate change. But the reality is that the laws of physics, as we currently understand them, don't allow for the existence of free energy devices. Well, there you have it, folks. Our whirlwind tour of 7 perpetual motion machines that attempted to defy the laws of physics. From ancient wheels to magnetic gates and self-looped circuits, we've seen some incredibly creative and thought-provoking attempts to achieve the seemingly impossible. While perpetual motion might remain elusive, the pursuit of this age-old dream has yielded valuable insights, sparked countless innovations, and taught us a lot about the fundamental laws governing our universe. So the next time you stumble upon a claim about a revolutionary new energy source, or a device that promises unlimited power, remember the lessons we've learned from the world of perpetual motion. Thanks for joining me on this journey, and be sure to let me know in the comments which perpetual motion machine you found most intriguing. Until next time, keep asking questions, keep exploring, and never stop learning.